exiled me to football paradise.
Yeah, well, I'm not pulling for New England.
Rally to the football, that gets me super juiced up.
I get to talk about this the rest of my life.
Welcome back into Command Center. Major news for Washington. They have their new defensive coordinator in Daronte Jones, and our crew talks all about what he's going to be able to bring to the burgundy and gold. And the prospect professor Logan Paulson recaps his top prospects from the 2026 Senior Bowl. We've kept our guy real busy. And speaking of keeping busy, our guy Fred Smoot is out on Radio Row in San Francisco for Super Bowl week. We'll check in with him and the Get Loud crew all throughout this show. All that and more starts right now on Command Center. Commanders family, welcome into Command Center from here in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. We're here with Mr. 8 to the 9, Santana Moss, and the prospect professor, Logan Paulson. We got Logan back. We sent Fred away. Fred Smoot and the Get Loud crew are out on Super Bowl week, giving us all kind of content. We will hear from them a little bit later. We'll also have Super Bowl champion and future Hall of Famer Brian Mitchell joining us later. But fellas, first things first, we have to hit the breaking news, baby. Daronte Jones. We got our new defensive coordinator, Logan, a Maryland kid, coming back once again with a ton of NFL experience.
Well, you know me, man. I'm always in the film. And the stuff that this guy put on tape with Brian Flores in Minnesota gets me really excited. The thing that he talked about that I love is like they want to invite chaos to the offense, right? Want to bring pressure, dictate to them. And that's something we haven't seen. It hasn't been done in the NFL for a very long time. So I love stuff that's innovative. I love stuff that's aggressive. I love stuff that maximizes personnel. And he's coming from a tree that does that at an extremely high level, Tana. So again, just based on the tape, man, I'm really excited. And then you talk about his background as a coach, high school, college, Canadian Football League. He knows how to communicate to anyone and everybody. I love that background for him.
Yeah, I'm intrigued too. I think anytime you can get a coach that was a part of a team that gave us a goose egg during the season, man. I mean, all you can do is be optimistic about that. But I think also just knowing that he's a hometown guy, you know how we are about our guys, you know how the DMV would get up and get around this guy, and then just showing what he's shown through his track record. I think it also shows, you know, I'm kind of saddened a little bit for those guys who no longer would be here because now it's a total defensive reset. So being with all that being said, man, I'm trying to win games.
Amen.
And so, you know, I love the guys who was here. You know, I wish them well to wherever they're going now, but now it's time for, you know, I guess you could say a new coach and his side to see what they got.
And Logan, you brought up intensity, boy. Looking at this brother face right here, Daronte Jones looks built for the task. Our new defensive coordinator. He's new, but he's far from new to this. Jones spending 5 seasons with the Vikings in various roles, including defensive backs coach and defensive pass game coordinator. As Vikings defensive coordinator Brian Flores' right-hand man, Jones coached some dominant secondaries. The group allowed the second fewest passing yards per game and generated 8 interceptions last season. They also allowed the second fewest completions in the league. And 13 players, fellas, had at least one pass breakup. Now, during Jones' 4-year tenure with Minnesota, he was part of a defensive unit that ranked top 10 in the NFL twice in points per game and ranked top 10 3 times in total takeaways. An exciting hire for our Commanders who are looking to turn things around in 2026. And fellas, our missing brother, Fred Smoot, was really excited about this pick. Him and our Get Loud crew are out on Radio Row in San Francisco right now. Listen to them for more on our new defensive coordinator, Daronte Jones. This is Get Loud from Radio Row, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
BC, appreciate you. They were giving you a hard time. You finally made it
Listen,
out.
they don't bother me. They exiled me to football paradise. Do it look like I'm worried about anything out here, Jinx? We are enjoying ourselves. I'm getting to see legends. Got the interview Rigo. This is next level. Yeah. I enjoy Radio Row for that because you get to see the past, the present, and everybody on the same tree. It's great. It's great.
And the cool thing is we don't just get to talk about the Super Bowl, but we're also asking a lot of these experts about what they think about the new hires for the Commanders.
And the future.
Yeah, so let's talk about Daronte Jones. What do you like?
This is what I like about Jones. I like his pedigree, 1. I like his attention to detail, 2. I like the exotic blick passages that he does. Like, everybody's trying to mimic what Minnesota is doing right now. It's called organized chaos. Remind me a lot of Greg Williams. He going to make sure you play first-level defense. What I'm saying when I say first-level defense, I'm talking about it's going to be 7, 6, 8 people at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. It's going to be your quarterback job to figure out who coming and where are they coming from. That's assignment football right there. That's pressure football right there. But sometimes they're going to be simulated pressures. I mean, we're simulating the pressure, but we're not actually pressuring. I'm going to love to see how he designs his own from all the people that influenced him.
I was going to say that was my next question, which is when you learn from guys like Brian Flores or Mike Zimmer, then you have that pedigree, which means you're ready to take the next step.
That means your whole mythos of how you do stuff is we are ready to apply pressure.
Yes.
And we're ready to do it no matter if it's 3rd and long, 3rd and 1, red zone. We don't care. We're going to apply pressure. You're going to have to figure out the puzzle. And I like that because it makes quarterback think. It makes quarterback go through their process. It makes quarterbacks make mistakes. Quarterbacks in the NFL don't make mistakes when they're comfortable. They make mistakes when they're uncomfortable. Where this defense will make sure with Coach Jones that they're uncomfortable. And he won't be moody with it.
Yeah.
It's all the time. This is who we are. This is what we do.
It's fascinating, too, because head coaches oftentimes hire within their comfort zone, right?
Yeah.
Guys they know. He has not worked. DQ has not worked with Daronte Jones before, which says to me he's willing to evolve a little bit.
No, you're going to have to evolve.
Yeah.
That's the whole life story. You either evolve or devolve, meaning you're going backwards. And we're evolving. He understands getting some youth in there, getting some fresh thoughts in there changes everything.
We're excited, and we got to get back to work.
Yeah, don't worry about it, BC. We are enjoying ourselves out here in this 70-degree weather. Never felt better.
Back to you guys.
Big shout out to our Get Loud crew. Now, the Commanders defense is adding experience with Daronte Jones, who helped lead the Vikings to the 3rd-ranked defense in the 2025 season. Now, Minnesota's defense also ranks 7th in points per game and 10th in total takeaways in the NFL. Our guy, Logan Paulson, is over in the film room right now, ready to break down some of the elements of the Vikings defense from last season that we may see incorporated in the Commanders' defensive scheme this coming season. This is Mission Ready, powered by Big Bear AI. Mission Ready AI for a rapidly evolving world.
Thanks, BC. All right, everyone is super excited, I know I am, for Daronte Jones and what he could be bringing. So we're going to take a look at Minnesota and what makes this defense so dangerous. The number one thing you should take away from this is how they bring their pressures, when they bring their pressures. It is early and often. Let's take a look at it. So this first clip, this is what I would call zero. You see Dak Prescott up at the line of scrimmage here, right? He's kind of pointing stuff out. Anytime a team is in zero or all-out pressure, you have to make some type of protection adjustment. So right here, he understands what it is. They walk up. We get 7 guys in the line of scrimmage. Let's add one more because I missed one there. 7 guys in the line of scrimmage. That means there's 4 coverage players in the back end. This, to me, looks like traditional zero, which would be man coverage. Everyone right here would have man coverage on the perimeter, and we're just going to lock this thing up. The thing that Minnesota does is they're going to bring this all-out pressure here, but they disguise their all-out pressure. So watch. On the snap of the football, look at these defensive back eyes. They are looking through to the quarterback. They are not in man coverage. And so I think that's the biggest difference. This is like a quarters or a palms or some type of zone. Watch this safety rally to the football here off of this drop. He's not in man coverage. He's not worried about it. He is running to the football. This is one of the things that Daronte Jones talks about, inviting chaos, right? Because all this does is it lets the DBs play flat-footed across the back, flat, flat, flat. They know that the pressure is going to get home, and I can rally and read the quarterback. This is very unique, and it's very, very effective. Look at this DB here, right? His feet are in concrete. He's not going anywhere. He's able to break on this football. Fred talks about this all the time. When the pressure is locked in, as a defensive back, you can be hyper-aggressive and get a PBU here on 2nd and 10. Now, let's look at the pressure. So they're going to walk up. We're talking about 7-man up. The thing that I love about this is the way they bring their pressure. Look at these guys here, how they're attacking the inside shoulders of these players. They do that to create the free rusher. So not only are they crazy detailed in the back end, they're really detailed also in the front and how they rush, because they understand that, hey, if this tackle right here were to double bump, or this guard were to double bump this set here, he could potentially pick up all these rushers. So without that, right, the detail of the rush becomes really, really important, and you see that in all their work here. Get the free run to the quarterback, let the DB rally to the football. That gets me super juiced up and gets me excited to think about some of our ball players doing some of that stuff here. Okay, so that's one example, right? So that last clip was, remember, it was 4 guys across the back end of the defense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a little bit different. Most teams have one way to run all out. Not the Minnesota Vikings. They run it in a multitude of ways. Right here, we're going to get into a cover 3 look. Again, 1, 2, 3. We've got an underneath hook player here. They're going to get to some kind of 3 deep, 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 and then underneath 2 guys in coverage, okay? So this is a very common coverage, but they're going to do a great job of disguising it. Check this out, right? Golf understands what's going on, knows the ball's got to get out, puts this thing up in the air, and what do we get? We get chaos. That's what Daronte Jones talks about. He wants chaos involved. He gets chaos with this interception here. So let's talk about it. They're in just a traditional cover 3. But look at these drop players here. See how in the line of scrimmage they are? That's a really important detail. Let's look at as why that's so important, okay, real quick. So it's important because we're able to now encourage and declare free rushers because of how the offensive line has to block this. Let's start over here on the offensive or the defensive left here, okay? Watch. Number 22, look how far he steps in the line of scrimmage before bailing out. All he's doing is he's declaring blockers, right? Which allows Van Ginkel to come free here, allowing 26 to come free because our guy attacked the inside shoulder of the offensive line here, right? So not only are they detailed in coverage, but they understand that you can block all-out pressure if you're not detailed about your work. And so when I see this, I say, guys, this is exactly what you want to do from a detailed work standpoint, from a pressure and from a coverage standpoint. Now, this is the other thing that they do, which I think is great. So they're going to get up here. They're in an all-out pressure here, all-out protection. And then the thing that we're going to get here is we're going to get a simple cover 2. Look at all the guys out in coverage. 1, 2, 3, 4, all these guys out in coverage doing a great job here. And the thing is, when you're able to play with this kind of variety, this kind of flexibility, it makes it really hard on the quarterback. So he's expecting all that pressure, has to hold it because they drop into coverage. So I'm excited to see what Daronte Jones brings. And he was excited back in 2024 at the Senior Bowl. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Come on, full speed, drop. Come on, digging. Come on, digging. Drop that body weight. Full speed. That ain't running. Come on, you faster than that. Step on my toes. Drop. Come on. Drive. Good, Cam. Get out. Come on, digging. Good movement. Good, you got the fade ball. Safety's on the post, you want me to get that? Ready? There we go. Coming your way. Boom. Bang. There we go. Yep, I'm gonna flat him. I'm gonna flatten you out. Range, get there. We got one-on-ones in about 2 minutes. I know you saw them dimes. I was dropping them dimes. Hey, carry the technique over, right? Win with technique. Patience. Drive. Work the technique. Find it. Hands off. Hell of a catch. Hey. That was a hell of a ball tracking. Squeeze. Finish it. Hey, wait to unlock those hips. Didn't need it. All right, here we go. We got team. Here we go. Effort, dictate the terms, right? Fly around, then the thieves. Yes, sir. Intelligence, let's be smart. Hey, post the ball out. I need the ball. Hey, punch out the ball. Yes, coach. Go ahead. Hey, swarm on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now that level of energy will fit perfectly here in Washington with DQ and company. Can't wait to see Jones get his first shot as a DC. And shout out to Logan for the breakdown. And honestly, we've kept Logan extra busy this offseason. Our guy was out at the Senior Bowl evaluating some of the top prospects in the 2026 NFL draft class. He also had a chance to catch up with some of the best draft experts the league has to offer down in Mobile. Let's check it out. It's time for Drive to the Draft.
Here with the one and only Trevor Sikkema from PFF. Trevor, you're the GM for the Washington Commanders. What are you thinking at 7? And what's the biggest need, you think?
I'm looking defense, and there's 4 players that I immediately think of for Washington that I think you've got a good chance that one of them is available. 2 of them are the Ohio State boys.
Okay.
It's Sonny Styles, the linebacker, who I think is just, I think he's a phenomenal player. He can play in coverage for you. He can trigger downhill so fast. He can remain aggressive the way that they want them to at that second level with Bobby Wagner obviously getting older. Arvell Reese is the other one.
So I want to hear your take on Arvell Reese, because I see a guy who is, again, he shows flashes, but I think he's more of a projection. That seems a little touch high.
But I think he's a crazy athlete, man. And here's the thing, I just think he could do so much for you.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think he's a linebacker in the sense of you're going to have him, like dropping on a Tampa drop, down the middle of the field. I don't know if that's ever going to be him in like true spot drop coverage. He'll be able to do a little bit of that, but think of Edgerrin Cooper and what he is for the Green Bay Packers. Just a heat-seeking missile, a true apex predator on the second level. That's what I think of Arvell Reese. So I think that he totally changed the defense with his athleticism. And then we go to pass rusher for the other two. I'm sure you guys have talked about these guys plenty. It's David Bailey. It's Ruben Bain Jr. Do
you have a preference of the two?
I like Ruben Bain Jr. more just because I just love the explosiveness, some of the bend that he has. I know he doesn't have the biggest arms, but that sure didn't stop him from getting into the backfield into the quarterback throughout all of their national championship run. And he's coached by the Hall of Famer Jason Taylor, who is their position coach down at Miami, and you see that in just his technique, how he wins in the details, how he's an absolute dog. But, of course, David Bailey, I mean, if you want somebody who has the trump card of all trump cards, it's that first step explosiveness.
So he likes to go fast. He's Ricky Bobby.
That's Ricky Bobby. I might steal that comp from the PFF Draft Guide and try to credit you for it because he absolutely loves to go fast, yes.
Trevor, no one does it better. Thanks so much, man.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Down here at the Senior Bowl with the NFL draft nerd, Jeremy Greene. Again, one of the funniest, smartest guys in the business. Jeremy, you're the GM for the Washington Commanders. What's the thought at 7, need, and then player available?
My prayer is that the GMs in front of me are so dumb that they don't see Caleb Downs as the guy that he is, and I'm just going to get an Ed Reed that falls in my lap at 7. I see teams, mocks, Daniel Jeremiah, different guys that have done that the entire week. I keep seeing him fall. He shouldn't get past Washington. If he's not there, I'm looking in your defense. I like David Bailey.
Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about Caleb Downs first. Like, what makes him so special? And again, David Bailey, why do you like him?
So when I'm a team like Washington who had what I call a blip year, you had the injuries with Jaden, this is still the team that everybody wanted to play for a year ago. I have the shot at one, no doubt, generational talent. That's Caleb Downs. I know, even though he plays a position that's not necessarily as important as edge rusher, he makes everybody, all 10 guys on the defense, he makes them better just by being out there. I love Bailey too.
Okay.
I love Ruben Bain too, but Caleb Downs is my 1, 2, and my 4.
So we talk about positions that don't have conventional value. Do you see value in Sonny Styles at 7 if Caleb Downs is not there?
It's a little high for Sonny Styles, but I don't hate it.
As a linebacker, or just because of the player?
I'm in very serious like with the player. I'm not in like with taking an off-ball linebacker at 7, which is kind of my problem with Arvell Reese.
Yeah.
It's the reason I think he may fall a little bit further than people think. I just want to take a dog. As Washington, I'm treating this offseason like it's 2025 all over again.
Yeah.
The 2025 season didn't happen. I've got my franchise quarterback. I got dogs on the offense. Yeah. I've built up the line. I need a dog on the defense, and that's all I care about. I don't care what position he plays. Get me a dog.
And so we talk about dogs, and my mind immediately goes to Jeremiah Love. Again, we're talking about unconventional positions here at 7 because this is kind of an unusual draft. Thoughts on him, and would you freak out if they took him at 7?
I would not freak out at all. It would be one of those, no, okay, I get it, because he's my 2 overall.
Yeah.
Downs is my 1, Jeremiah Love's my 2, and there's a clear delineation before I get to Maui Noah at 3. I love Jeremiah Love. For me, I want the defense to complement the offense. Sure. I need the defense. I don't want Jaden in shootouts, but it's really tempting to have that running back behind him. I said it with Pat Mahomes. The same thing applies with Jaden Daniels. It would be hard to bypass Jeremiah Love. I wouldn't freak out about it.
Yeah. Obviously, you see why he's the best guy in the business, Jeremy Greene, at the NFL Draft Nerd. Check him out.
Shout out to our guy Logan for bringing us some of the best draft content in the NFL. Let's take a look at Top 5, presented by UA Local 5 Plumbers, protecting the health of the nation's capital since 1890. And this Top 5 list is the top 5 prospects from last week at the Senior Bowl that Logan Paulson saw. First up, Derek Moore, the edge out of Michigan. Then, Gabe, how you say that last name? Yakis, the edge out of Illinois. Malachi Fields, the wide receiver out of Notre Dame. Ted Hurst, the wide receiver out of Georgia State. And then Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pittsburgh. Logan, let's take a deeper dive into these prospects as Washington gears up for the 2026 NFL Draft, holding on to the number 7 overall pick. It's time for Securing the W, presented by Hercules Fence. Security in every job. Logan, that list looked pretty impressive.
Yeah.
You've been a busy man. Look like you even got a little tan maybe out there in that Senior Bowl.
Sunny. It was sunny down in Mobile. I got a little color, right? You guys have been in the winter storm up here.
We've been in this winter storm, and as you look at this list of top prospects, right, we don't have any inside information. We have no idea who's going. However, last year, you hit a couple on the head. You knew we were going to get Josh Colley. You knew we were going to get Trey Amos. Now, this prospect list are guys that you think might look good in burgundy and gold.
Yeah, so this is really tough because at the Senior Bowl, these are all guys from the Senior Bowl. So the thing about it is, like, there's nobody that's going to be there at 7 that's at the Senior Bowl. Those guys make a lot of money. David Bailey, Reuben Bain, they were supposed to come, but again, their agent was probably like, hey, man, don't worry about it.
Chill out.
We'll be okay. So all these guys are guys that will be in the top 7. Like, they're available at 71, right? So guys that have some warts, guys that can are developmental prospects to a certain extent. And I kind of looked at this and I said to myself, like, what would Washington need if they don't go edge at number 1 overall, right? I think there's 2 edges on here, Derek Moore, Gabe Yakis, 2 physical dudes that play hard. And, you know, depending how the board falls, you can get a difference maker at 71. That would be pretty exciting. And then the receiver spot is something else that was really interesting. And I actually was really impressed with the receiver group down at the Senior Bowl. Really dynamic, kind of a bunch of guys that were maybe specialty type of players, but in the right role could definitely be a nice complementary piece to Terry. Obviously, Malachi Fields, who everyone knows from Notre Dame. And then Ted Hurst, who might be a new name for some people, but 6'3", 210 pounds, can run, got 33-inch arms. Like, you don't find a lot of receivers like that, 1,000-yard receiver at Georgia State. So that's another one. And then the linebacker, I think, is another position that people are talking about potentially the Commanders needing. And this is so preliminary because we haven't done free agency yet. We're still working on names. But again, this is very early, but these are some things that thinking about in terms of making this list.
And it's funny because you hear a lot of guys kind of talk about that wide receiver group. Do you see that being addressed, whether you see it through free agency or through the draft?
Well, I think the thing that Adam Peters done a great job of, quite frankly, is he's done a really good job of being like, hey, we're going to address all our needs in free agency so that we can kind of go best player available or most dynamic player. And so, like, right now, yes, edge is a little bit of a need. Receivers a little bit of a need. But as we get closer, Adam, every year, I make this same list, and every year he kind of jumps in a different direction. So keep an eye on that.
And Logan, that's an excellent point because last year when we talked to Adam Peters before the draft, he said we are ready to play football right now. And that was because, like you said, a great NFL free agency. And we're so excited to keep following the NFL free agency, keep following the NFL draft. But before we get to that, Logan, Super Bowl's on the way, baby. The Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks will be matching up. And since it's Super Bowl week, we have to take a look back at some of the biggest moments in Washington's franchise history. It is time for your winning numbers, brought to you by Maryland Lottery. Please play responsibly. And today's winning numbers are the 3 Super Bowl championships for our squad. First up, Super Bowl 17, we beat the Dolphins at the Rose Bowl in LA, 27-17. Then we go up to Super Bowl 22, where we beat the Broncos out in San Diego, 42-10. And then Super Bowl 26, we beat the Bills in Minnesota, 37-24. Some amazing moments. And joining us now is a special member of our crew, Brian Mitchell, who was paramount in some of these Super Bowls. B. Mitch, what is the energy like during Super Bowl week? This is your can't miss moment presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official partner of the Washington Commanders.
Thanks, BC. My favorite Super Bowl memory would be 1992, January 26th, when we won this. Made it to the Super Bowl my second year in the NFL with the Washington Redskins at the time, and we went out there and we manhandled the Buffalo Bills. They had talked a lot of trash all week, called our Hogs the Fat Pigs. Well, the Fat Pigs showed them something that day. We left with a 37-24 victory, and you know what? I get to talk about this the rest of my life. Back to you, BC.
Shout out to my guy, Brian Mitchell, a Super Bowl champion, and most definitely a future Hall of Famer. Now it's time to check in one last time with our Get Loud crew out on Radio Row for the Super Bowl. This is your best seat in the house, presented by SeatGeek. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Moment of truth.
Yeah.
Moment of truth. Super Bowl predictions.
Yeah.
What do you got?
When you look at this game, this is 2 evenly matched teams. Everybody talk about you got to have an offensive head coach. No, this is 2 defensive head coaches. I enjoy it. These are guys that are strategists. And when I look at these teams don't have many weaknesses. But when you look at the weaknesses, they come on New England. You got a quarterback that haven't played in the game like this. I think when I look at the roster, Seattle roster is superior. They're not great at no one thing, but good at a little bit of everything. I'm going with Seattle in this one, 24-13.
Oh, I'm close to you. These are 2 very complete teams.
Yeah.
Seattle, top 3 in offense, top 3 in
defense. Yeah.
Patriots, top 5 offense, top 5 defense. So this is a great football game.
Yeah.
But I think the Seattle defensive line puts enough pressure on Drake May to make a difference here.
I think the young kid
24-17 Seattle.
I'm with you right there. The young kid makes a mistake. The game slides. We done seen this story before. And plus, let's all agree that Boston don't need no more parades for the next 20 years.
Amen. Kayla's shaking her head. That means we got to go. That's a wrap from Radio Row.
Shout out to our Get Loud crew on the ground out at the Super Bowl. Now, Commanders family, do you want to win 2 tickets with pre-game field passes to watch our home opener? then you need to be watching the Get Loud with Jenks and Smoot this week from Radio Row out in San Francisco. They are going head-to-head in some football-related challenges out there, and all you have to do is pick the winner. It's real easy. Email your pick, either Jenks or Smoot, to WashingtonGetLoud@gmail.com. The winner will be selected on next week's episode of Get Loud, so make sure you pick and get into the game for your chance to win those tickets to our home opener. Fellas, we just heard from the Get Loud crew. Their Super Bowl predictions. Seattle Seahawks across the board. Jenks Seattle, Fred Seattle. Logan, to end the show, what are your Super Bowl predictions?
You know, I'm pulling for New England, right? I kind of want them to win. My family's from there. My guy Morgan Moses, Tanner, he's playing up there right now, so that's super exciting. Unfortunately, I think Seattle's going to beat the hell out of them. I just think there's not a defense playing better football right now than them. And so I'm going to say they're going to win by 10, 21-10, something like that. Again, I just think that group is playing really good football right now.
Yeah, well, I'm not pulling for New England. And I want the Seahawks to win. I think the Seahawks have shown that they've been battle-tested the whole year long. And the one other thing that I'm proud about, out of all those quarterbacks that came into that draft class, which you got Sam Darnold, he's the one that gets to go to the Super Bowl first and have a chance of winning it. So I'm rooting for Sam Darnold because of that reason, man. So I got Seahawks winning 27-17.
All right, Tanner, I'm kind of flipped. I'm going for the Seahawks because I do not like the New England Patriots having family all from out there. However, I got the Patriots winning the ball, baby. They got something special going on out there. I've been saying Patriots all playoffs long. I'm sticking with the New England Patriots. And we appreciate y'all for sticking with us, even though we were without your boy, Fred Smoot. But he will be back next week, and so will we, for more Command Center. I'm your host, Brian Colbert Jr. here with Santana Moss, Logan Paulson, Fred and Jenks out at Super Bowl week. They enjoying themselves. But like I said, we'll be back next week for more Command Center.
Command Center was filmed at Big Bear AI Command Center Studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.